What's up everybody, welcome back to Double T Gaming, and BlizzCon 2018 has finally come to a close, and we did get a fair amount of information on World of Warcraft Classic. Some good, some bad, but no matter what, it is something. Now I usually don't do videos formatted like this, but I see a lot of Classic WoW YouTubers do this kind of formatted videos, so hey, why not do the same? So today we're going to be going over everything Blizzard released about Classic WoW, besides all the technical stuff and numbers, because that stuff is kind of boring. These are the things that us as a normal player base really worry about. Things that are making it into Classic and things that are not. So let's get started. So first of all, you probably already know, but World of Warcraft Classic will be releasing in summer of 2019, and it will be tied into $15 a month Battle for Azeroth subscription. Now some people are a little upset that they have to pay $15 a month for almost a 15-year-old game, but the only thing I can say to those people is to, just imagine that we are in the year 2004 and you're paying your monthly sub for Vanilla WoW. Because we paid it back then, so why not do it now? And let me preface all this by saying that I am not going to try and defend Blizzard in any way based on their decision making throughout this video. I know some prominent Classic YouTubers, maybe Esfon, Stay Safe, Tips Out, seems as if they are trying to defend Blizzard on some arguable points, but these are things that you can't defend about Blizzard, because us as a player base want an authentic vanilla experience. Now I'm not going to go as hardcore as someone like Alex Sensual is at Blizzard, saying that they are trying to censor me or anything, but I am going to give the most unbiased views as possible, but probably end up favoring the no changes side of things at the end of the day. Because no matter what is included or not included in Classic WoW, there is always going to be controversy at every decision made, but the entirety of this release is controversy. Some people don't want Classic at all. Some people want changes. Some people don't want changes. There is always two sides to every coin, and the Classic community certainly shows both of those sides. But anyway, enough of my little tangent, let's get going. So to start out, what we were given at BlizzCon 2018 is just a demo. Blizzard has stated that things in the demo are not going to make it into live Classic. Typing /LFR, the interface issues, the animation issues. This is a 7.3.5 client, and they are working backwards from it. So Legion commands and everything in BFA will be there in the demo. These are things that are hopefully going to get fixed by the time Classic releases in the summer of 2019. Now, sharding was a big complaint of the player base when the demo was released. If you don't know what sharding is, it's basically a form of phasing. This allows players to be in the same spot at the same time, but be essentially in different phases. So we don't see the other player and aren't seeing what mobs are killing or what they're doing at all. Blizzard stated that sharding only made it into the demo to reduce server stress and allow for everyone to play the demo lag-free. Blizzard knows how crucial the social aspect of the game is and is aware that sharding does not help that fact. However, they also unfortunately stated that sharding in the first major populated zones, mainly Elwyn and Durotar, may have sharding in the first couple of weeks after launch. They want to try and bring us a cohesive world without the use of sharding, but my sincere hope is that sharding does not make it into Classic in any aspect, not even at launch for these zones. The ridiculousness of the first few zones of leveling added to what made this social aspect of Classic so great. So what's not making it into Classic? Cross Realm, achievements, flying, the unified auction house, dungeon finder, looking for raid. All of these things won't be in Classic WoW come next year. So what is going to make it into Classic then? Well, for starters, the rogue energy regeneration rate and combo points will be how it was in Vanilla WoW. In Battle for Azeroth, you gain 1 energy for every 10th of a second, versus 20 energy every 2 seconds in Vanilla. Also in Vanilla, combo points were just on single targets and did not carry over target to target. This all affects rotation and burst capabilities, and it's going to all be back how it was in Classic. And it's kind of the same for Druid Cat form as well. There will be the 16 debuff limit. The original release of Vanilla was just an 8 debuff limit due to technical issues, but this affects raid comps and class balance, but they said they don't want a slippery slope by changing debuff limit mid-release again. Mail will have an hour delay as it was in Vanilla, and there will be add-on restrictions. They're going to restrict the use of add-ons that somewhat pilot the player's rotation. There will be Battle.net integration, so you can talk to your Battle.net friends like you can in BFA, similar to how you can in the demo. And the most disputed one of all, the loot trading system that is currently in BFA will also be in Classic WoW. meaning that if a player loots something, they have a 2-hour grace period to trade it to another eligible group member without penalty. Blizzard says this will take ease off of the GMs because in vanilla, they had to manually go in and look at each case and give the item to the right player. Now, I do not think this should make it into Classic, and let me explain why. If this makes it into Classic, it gives players a higher chance to get gear based on the amount of friends they come into a dungeon or raid with. For example, if I go into Dead Mines on a rogue with 2 other friends and Cruel Barb drops, those friends can roll and need all that item for me and then trade it to me, dramatically increasing my chance of winning the sword over the other random players in the group. This will be crucial in raids, as only a few pieces of gear drops for 40 people in total. This is not good. I do not want to see this in Classic WoW, and hopefully Blizzard go back on this decision. But let's talk about the content progression Blizzard released regarding Classic WoW. So, in Stage 1, we have Molten Core, Onyxia, Dire Maul, Kazakh, and Azurgos. They will be in at launch. Now, Dire Maul, Kazakh, and Azurgos released 5 months after initial launch in the US, and we still do not have any word on Maridon, but I'm assuming it's a part of that Stage 1 group. Stage 2, we have BWL, Battlegrounds, and Zul'Gurub. Now, PvP rewards are not going to be in at launch because the higher end PvP gear overshadows the first stage of raid gear, and they don't want that happening. Now for Stage 3, we have AQ, Tier 0.5, and the Green Dragon World bosses. And there will be the opening of the AQ event once again, so get your Scarab Lord titles ready, guys. And finally, in Stage 4, we have Naxx and the Scourge invasions that come with it, but this is all subject to change. Release dates will be determined when the time is right, which is probably going to be based on content progression for guilds. So, all of this seems pretty good, right? Well, there is some discrepancy regarding the release of Dire Maul at launch. Some DM gear actually overshadows gear from Molten Core, so it may make things a little wonky in the beginning of progression for some players overall. But what happens now? The demo is going to be out until November 8th, and there is no longer a time restriction on it, so we can play to our heart's content. And pretty much, we just wait this out until the launch of Classic. But overall, Blizzard is trying to keep that social dynamic and raid progression as consistent as they can with how vanilla was. And from what they said, they truly care and are devoted to the Classic. But some things, like sharding or the loot system, have absolutely no place in Classic WoW, and I sincerely hope they do not make it into launch. But that's basically it, guys. If I left anything out, please leave it down in the comment section. In the coming weeks, as I get more and more free time, I will be releasing some more videos regarding Classic WoW, and also will be doing some streams playing on Light's Hope probably, mainly just messing around on my 1900 twink. But once again, if you have any video suggestions, feel free to leave it down in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more World of Warcraft Classic content. Thank you guys for watching. It's WoW Gaming, and I'll see you guys in the next video.